Okay. You ready, Javon?
Yes, sir.
Welcome inside Meridian Center in St. Catharines, Ontario, home of the 2021 Canada Summer Games and also home of game number 8 of the CEBL Summer Series here on CBC Gym and CBCSports.ca, featuring the Fraser Valley Bandits at 1-0 and the 1-0 defending champion Saskatchewan Rattlers. I'm Sean Woodley here with Javon Shevin for part 2 of our back-to-back, our doubleheader here between the Fraser Valley Bandits and the Saskatchewan Rattlers. Javon, thanks for being here. Thanks for putting up with me for a second straight game.
Oh, my goodness, another one with you.
I know, it's exhausting,
I'll make
isn't
it through. I'll make it through.
It must be difficult sitting next to someone who's better at basketball than you.
Just a tad bit.
To be clear, Javon played for the national team. I am very bad at pickup and quit after 10 minutes because I'm out of shape. Either way, we got a lot to bring you today. We got the Fraser Valley Bandits and Saskatchewan Rattlers, the two undefeated teams left in the pool here in the CEBL Summer Series. Very exciting stuff. Javon, quickly, any thoughts before we get this thing rolling?
I'm excited. Somebody's leaving here defeated tonight, and somebody's leaving here 2-0. It'll be one remaining. This will be the only team that'll be 2-0, so it's going to be, definitely a good matchup. And I'm excited for both teams, man. Fraser Valley, the team that's going to get up and down. Saskatchewan, a team that can go 6-6-6-7 all the way across the board. So two good teams, two different styles. Definitely looking forward to it.
And it's all coming up right here on CBC Gem. After the break, we'll get to Amy Audibert, our sideline reporter, to get things started.
Most of our clients who come through our door and who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
Time to rep your CEBL pride, Canada. Exclusive New Era merchandise is now available on CEBL.ca. Buy your favorite hats, replica jerseys, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Welcome to our game. Rattlers fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit therattlers.ca and take advantage of this exclusive Summer Series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience. Bandits fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit thebandits.ca and take advantage of this exclusive Summer Series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience.
Welcome back inside Meridian Center. Rattlers, Bandits getting set to go here. But first, let's introduce the third member of our broadcast crew. Let's go down to the sideline with Amy Audibert.
Thanks, Sean. You guys already touched on this game featuring two high-flying teams. And if you look at both of their box scores, one of the big glaring stats was the offensive output. Fraser Valley dropped 113 points, while the Rattlers not too far behind at 96. So I talked to a Saskatchewan vet, Kai Williams, just moments ago and said, how do you keep your pace up but slow Fraser Valley down? And he was very quick to answer. He said, offensive balance. We cannot go for home run plays. Guys, it sounds like the efficient shot selection has going to be a big key for the Rattlers going into this one. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Amy. All right, let's quickly touch on the format here for the Summer Series. Let's remind people what's up here. We've got 6 games for each of these teams, everyone playing everybody one time. We have the top 6 teams in that 7 at the end of it go on to the knockout round. Top 2 get byes. 1 team is going home, and 1 team is not going to qualify for that knockout round. Obviously, you just want to qualify, but getting those 2 byes is super important as well because anything can happen in a knockout tournament.
The bye is super important because these teams have only had a 7-day training camp. You have a 15-day season. You need that rest, especially going into playoffs. You want to be as fresh as possible, be able, be on top of your game, cross your I's, dot your T's. And again, that you're not only playing for, the championship. You're playing for your cities, your country, your families. These guys want to be fresh going into it, get the championship, and run off just like Saskatchewan did last year.
Let's send it back down to Amy Audibert, who has Kyle Julius, the head coach of the Fraser Valley Bandits, with her.
Coach, I think you guys had a really good game 1. I'm sure you're going to tell me something different. But after you've had a day now to break the film down, what do you want to see the biggest jump from your team from game 1 to this one at 2?
We play with good energy, Amy. We got to bring it again, right? You can't just bring it one day. Even if it's a back-to-back, you got to find a way to bring energy. And so that's what I'm focused on today, us playing with good energy. I think the X's and O's and things will take care of themselves if we have good energy.
The preseason polls had these 2 teams here in the bottom 2, yet someone's walking out undefeated. Can you just treat us and share your locker room pregame message?
Well, I think this is a really good team. I really do. I think they have length. I think they play like they're well organized. They play 5 out. They got a handful of shooters, sometimes 4 and 5 shooters. And I think they're a really good matchup for our team. So I think this will be a tough one.
I look forward to it, Coach. Thanks
Amy.
for your time. We'll go back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Amy. Thanks to Coach Julius. So it turns out the polls, they might be talking about us. We did a podcast last week, the CEBL Show podcast, where we had the Fraser Valley Bandits and the Rattlers both as our respective picks as to who was not going to qualify for the knockout round. We can forget that. I'm sure everyone has forgotten that as well. It's not bulletin board material whatsoever.
They'll forgive us.
Yeah, let's get to your keys of the game here, Javon. Let's start out with the Saskatchewan Rattlers.
I think for the Rattlers, transition defense is extremely important because Fraser Valley is a team that's going to push it down your neck. They are extremely relentless. Also, get Kevin Bracey Davis involved early. This guy, he's the ultimate utility guy, and I think for him, he's the heart of this team. Perimeter defense. Fraser Valley is a team that, they have interchangeable pieces. Saskatchewan is a team that, again, like I said earlier, they can go 6'6", 6'7", all across the board. They have long arms. They can defend them.
Absolutely. You mentioned Kevin Bracey Davis. He had 16 points in the opener on 7 of 19 shooting, 5 of 10 from 2-point range. Let's get to the Bandits' keys to the game.
Full court press. This is a team that they may be undersized per se, but they all have big hearts, and I think they're tough, they're gritty. That's what's going to roll them over in this, not only this game, but this season. Toughness is big for them. They're a gritty team, they're tough, and that's going to be the key for this team, one of the big keys for this team. Drive and kick to shooters. Again, they have guards like Junior Cadogan, a guy that can get into the key, have the defense fold on him and then kick it out to their shooters.
You mentioned Junior Cadogan. He had 14 points for the Fraser Valley Bandits in their 113-110 win over Edmonton in their first game. Saskatchewan beat Niagara, who just fell 1-2 against Guelph earlier today. They won 96-79 in their opener. And let's take a look now at the starting lineups here for both of these squads. You've got Kevin Bracey Davis, Denzel Taylor, Robinson Opong, Kemi Osei, and Chris Joseph. 4 Canadians, and then the import, Kevin Bracey Davis for Saskatchewan. On the Fraser Valley side, the 2 imports are Marcus Capers and Cameron Forte, who scored 28 points in the opener and currently is the tournament's leading scorer on a per-game basis. You've got Malcolm DeVivier along with Kyle Johnson and Junior Cadogan rounding out the starting 5 as well for the Fraser Valley Bandits. The officials for today's game are Frank Rizzuti, Chris Pacella, and Tanner Servo. And a reminder to you that Spalding is the official game ball of the CEBL. Get your new CEBL official replica ball today by visiting CEBL.ca. I'm in the market for a new basketball. These are quite nice basketballs. I might get myself one of those bad boys.
I like them. I snuck on the court, got some shots up before these guys got on the court to warm up. And I really like it. It reminds me of a ball that I was using when I was in France. Had a couple good years there. So I imagine if I was to jump back into the court right now, I could potentially get things going.
You were practicing to try to beat me, because remember, I'm better than you at basketball, the former national team and longtime pro.
I'll give that one to you.
Please don't. Don't make me ever have to back that up, because it will go so horribly. I mean, maybe we could do that as like a halftime show. It's just you beat me one-on-one. We'll talk. We're doing the games tomorrow and Thursday as well. We will.
We have some time.
We'll put a pin in that for sure.
We have some time.
I'll go practice tomorrow morning. It'll be my first play in 6 months because quarantine has kind of ruined pickup. Anyway, we got a game here. We got the Fraser Valley Bandits. We got the Saskatchewan Rattlers. A couple beautiful sets of jerseys as well. We've got the Fraser Valley Bandits rocking their orange with the blue trim. The Saskatchewan Rattlers with their green and wheat. It's a wheat. That's the official color. Don't say gold. It's wheat. All right. Get it together. The green and wheat for the Saskatchewan Rattlers.
I know there's some French connection here. So how do you pronounce that? What's the French pronunciation?
Of wheat?
Wheat.
Wheat. That's actually what they're saying in that new Run the Jewels song. It's wheat. I'm done. Everyone's firing me now. I'm out after this game. Anyway, let's get to the game, shall we? We'll have Denzel Taylor.
You can see the height difference in these teams, and I had a chance to talk to Kyle Julius before this, early on in their training camp, and he said, you know what, these guys are not small. These guys they have big hearts. They play big. Size is just something in their head.
Both of these teams come in with their tallest player standing 6'7", so that's something to keep an eye on there. And a quick bucket for DeVivier, yeah. Kemi Osei cans the three. Kemi Osei on the board. He hit the game-winning Elam-ending shot in Saskatchewan's first game.
You can tell by just the aura of these guys. Both teams are undefeated right now. They both feel good about themselves. A little different, a bit more of a pop to their step than the first game we've seen.
Junior Cadogan cans the three. He himself also hit the. Actually, I'm mistaken. It was Jens Manigat. I got excited. It was not Junior Cadogan who hit the Elam-ending three. He just had 14 points in that first game.
I'm sure the Rattlers are happy to have Chris Joseph back. I think that's a guy that's a second-round draft pick. He's probably one of the biggest talents in this of all these 7 teams. But I know he was out last game, a little banged up. Definitely big talent. Great to have him back.
Yeah, Chris Joseph wearing number 33 for the Rattlers, hanging out in the middle there. He, of course, got a cup of coffee in the NBA with the Boston Celtics and the Brooklyn Nets a couple years back. Under the basket, is thrown away by Forte.
And the Rattlers they've done their scouting report. They've seen the 20 and 10 output of him, weak side help coming just so that to deter him from taking it directly to the basket and get some early touches. That's definitely a guy you don't want to get his rhythm early.
That was Chris Joseph just canning a bucket to get on the board for himself in this summer series. Robinson Opong pops for three, no good. Rebound grabbed there.
I like the pace of this game so far. Both teams are getting up, getting some good shots early.
Kyle Johnson drives. And a charge is going to be called on Kyle Johnson, a member of the Great Britain national team. Played for Stjarnan, I think I pronounced that correctly, in Iceland this last year.
I've had some good conversations with Kyle. He's a guy that's traveled the world. He's a vet. He's traveled the world. He's part of the Great Britain national team for some years. 2012 Olympian, London Olympics, I believe it was. And an experience like that, you can never substitute. You can't match that.
Kemi Osei with it. Gets it down to Denzel Taylor underneath. That is blocked, or at least obstructed, by Marcus Capers. Here's Forte. Again, 28 points in the opener, and he's on the board here with a bucket with the left hand.
That's going to be a good matchup with him and Bracey.
Chris Joseph with it. Takes the Taylor screen, surveying. Given some trouble there, and they're going to call travel on Chris Joseph, and it will be Bandits ball. We mentioned off the top, Amy mentioned off the top, that we both had Fraser Valley and Saskatchewan lower in our power rankings coming in. They proved us wrong with big wins over teams that we.
That.
I'm okay to own up. I'm wrong all the time. Don't worry. But they both looked really good in their opening games. Here's Cadogan from mid-range. That'll go. Getting excited already.
That's the type of play we spoke about earlier, where Junior is a guy that can use the ball screen, get into the heart of the defense, make plays, make mid-range shots, and he's a guy that's tenacious. He's a guy that's never going to let up. He's going to be the energy of this team.
Always letting people hear it already. Here's Chris Joseph up top. He'll pull up for three. That's no good. Pulled down by Forte. He'll walk it up.
Forte's been on the boards early. He's a guy that had 10 rebounds his first output. So, I see him building on that tonight.
Travel call there for Forte. I'm sure he'll have another chance to score buckets. Forte, 4-year pro out of Tempe, Arizona, went to Portland State, played this past season in Montevideo, Uruguay. I love saying Montevideo.
I get the impression this Fraser Valley team feels like they've been disrespected and have a chip on their shoulder every time they step onto this court.
Yeah, I think they've been like tweeting at me because I had them last in my power rankings going in. So fair enough. Here's Cameron Forte. That's good.
That's good.
A reminder, if you want to tweet at me about my bad opinions or just be part of the conversation of the CEBL online, use the hashtag OurGame. The CEBL is trending across Canada this week. Join in on the conversation. Again, the hashtag is OurGame. Robinson Opong, no good. Grabbed by Denzel Taylor. He kicks it out. Osei, 12 on the clock. Pulls up for 3. That's just short off the front lip. Picked up by Opong. They keep it alive.
Offensive rebounds, those will kill you. That's a coach's nightmare.
Is that the thing coaches hate the most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that when it happens and it's your man that gets the rebound, you just pretend that you don't hear the coach calling your name and screaming at you.
Here's Kyle Johnson. To Cadogan, up to Forte at the top. He'll drive lefty. He's got some funky drives, does Forte.
Yeah, and he's not shy. He's not shy at all.
Cadogan, no good for 3. Taylor with the board. Here's Opong. He'll walk it up. Calls for a screen. A couple of guys come to do it, bit of confusion there. Anyway, it works out. He gets fouled going to the basket by Cadogan.
Fraser Valley is probably going to be the most in-shape team. I remember having a conversation with Kyle Johnson as well early on, a couple months ago actually, and these guys were having group training camps on Zoom. This was a month before this season we even knew that this season was going to be possible. Group training sessions on Zoom. I know about meetings. We've had a couple meetings ourselves, PR meetings, media meetings online, but
you can't really draw X's and O's on
right.
I guess you can share the screen, get out
but these guys
Corel paint.
These guys were running hills. These guys were doing, wall sits. They're really in shape before they got into training camp. So I think once they were able to get to training camp in that 7-day period, they were able to lock in on their X's and O's and really identify who they were going to be as a team. Some
subs into the game here. Jahens Manigat in. You see him starting a pass underneath to DeVivier. He tries to kick it out but throws it away. May have traveled and got away with it there, but ball don't lie, I guess. And Jelaine Price will inbound. He just checked in, one of the returning members of the champion Rattlers. Here's Rashawn Brown. Interesting player, Rashawn Brown. First-year pro out of... Oh, and he throws it up. Oh, can't get it. But Brown, first year out of University of Manitoba, and one of the best players in U Sports this past year, and looked fantastic in the opener as well. Is a miss there?
I'll go as far to say he's probably one of the better guards in this league right now. Even though he's a rookie, and I think this league offers him that opportunity where he's able to come in, play with pros, hone his craft, and be prepared for his next steps.
Brown had 12 points in the opener, 4-7 from the field, to go along with 3 assists and 3 rebounds. Robinson Opong is going to go to the line here. Opong, a 6'3 guard out of Quebec City, played this season for the City Oilers of the Basketball Africa League. And we have reached here the media timeout in the first quarter. Bandits, Rattlers. More coming up on the other side of the break here on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca.
It was a code 10, hard water again. Worst part is Claire was unaware.
Hey, Culligan, our water makes my skin and hair feel like I'm 90.
Okay, are you 90?
I'm not.
Okay, secondly, how do you feel about high-efficiency water softeners from Culligan Water?
What?
And thirdly, how do you feel about smoother skin and luxurious hair?
Goodly. I feel very good about that.
That's the power of water. Stay soft, right?
You stay soft.
Good water doesn't just come to you. Oh, wait. In this case, yes, it did.
Follow the Saskatchewan Rattlers on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the defending champion Rattlers have to offer. Follow the Fraser Valley Bandits on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the Bandits have to offer.
Eleven to 7, the Fraser Valley Bandits lead the Saskatchewan Rattlers. Robinson Opong to the line. Let's check in with our sideline reporter, Amy Audibert.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Opong is a member of the Uganda national team since 2017, so I got to speak to him about that recently, and he told me it is an incredible experience, mostly because it's bigger than basketball. He understands the patriotism going into every single game. I asked him what he's been doing during COVID. He said reading a lot, and I said, well, what's your dream job after basketball? He smiled and said, I'm not sure, that's why I'm reading a lot.
Reading a lot is a thing I told myself I was going to do when quarantine started. Instead, I just played a lot of video games because I'm, not a well-rounded person whatsoever. Thanks, Amy, for that little fun nugget on Robinson Opong, who went 1 of 2 from the line there. 11-8, Fraser Valley leads, 4:27 to go. Kevin Bracey Davis checking back in here for Saskatchewan as Opong will take his first seat of the night.
It's a deep team. I see they've gone to their bench early. Their team that had 34 points from their bench in their first game. So you see this a team is really deep and they can get contribution from a lot of guys.
And they are coached by first-year head coach Chad Jacobson, that is, taking over for Greg Jockums, who coached the team last year to their title. Bracey Davis drives. Right-handed finish. That is good for Kevin Bracey Davis.
That's tough. That's tough. And that's the type of play you need to really get, Fraser Valley out of their press. If you can break that press early, they have to back it off. You definitely don't want to be pressed the whole game. That's something that can wear down on you. So, 1 or 2 passes, attack the defense, bucket, force them to get out of there early.
Merrick Clausen checked into the game a few minutes back. Should probably talk about him for a sec. He is one of the returning members, the only returning member, I should say, of Fraser Valley, as Olu Ashalu gets it to go.
I like Merrick. He's a guy that can, he can shoot it from the outside. I believe he led last year with 7, the league last year with 7 assists. So,
yeah.
He's a guy that can mix it up a bit, get guys involved as well, put pressure on the defense with his ability to shoot.
He arrived, a few games into the season last year after finishing up his year overseas, and things did not go well for Fraser Valley out of the gate. They were, not so hot to start. I believe they started 1-10. They kind of got it back near the end of the season, and a lot of that was because of Merrick Clausen kind of, establishing his sort of control of the team as their lead guard. Coming off the bench here today, here's Negus Webster-Chan, who finds Bracey Davis, drives off glass. That's good. And it's an and one opportunity for Kevin Bracey Davis.
And we spoke about him in the pregame. If you get him going early, he's a motor to this team. He's the ultimate utility guy. He can finish around the basket. He can finish outside. And, again, he's going to defend and rebound. So keep this guy happy. You have a really good chance in winning this game.
And we got to look at that again. The and one.
He did a really good job using his body, finishing with contact, and one. That's something a lot of guys don't really learn, like to use your your outside shoulder to shield, and then leverage your length and get the basket.
Converts the 3-point play. Manigat gets it, kicks out. Clausen for 3. That's no good. Picked up by Shane Osiande, another one of the returning members. A late addition to this team, Shane Osiande. Rashawn Brown with it. There's Bracey Davis. Tries to cross over, pull up, no good.
And that's tough. If you can have, a big-to-big screen and then your foreman come off and handle the ball into a shot, create his own shot, that's tough.
And there is Negus Webster-Chan knocking down the 3. Another returning member of the Rattlers. For my money, before he got hurt at the early part of last season, he was my early MVP favorite, and certainly Canadian of the Year favorite as well. He was excellent early on for the Rattlers, came back late in the season, helped them win that championship, is back this year. Of course, You remember him spending some time with Raptors 905 as a walk-on.
And there's a lot of expectation for him this year as well because he's one of the 2 returning players. I had a chance to speak to Chad Johnson earlier in the week, and he said, we're looking for Negus to lead this year. He's one of the guys, when we had our pre-meetings, he's one of the guys that really stepped up and was vocal. So we're really looking for him to take that next step, considering he is one of the returning guys. He had some big games for them last year as well. So definitely he's a big talent. I look for him to grow on that this year.
Well, Rashawn Brown shoots 2 free throws. I want to tell you about Coventry, which is the official transportation partner of the CEBL Summer Series, getting these guys safely back and forth between the arena, practice facility, and the hotel, the 3 safe zones that have been set up, part of the many, many safety protocols put in place by the CEBL to ensure this thing goes off safely. You'll notice everybody around the arena except for us windbags wearing masks. And we put the masks on as when we're not being windbags, which obviously is not often because we're constantly windbags.
Constantly windbags.
And there is Cameron Forte with the lefty finish.
I'll have you know, that was another defensive rebound for him on the defensive end. I'll go on a limb and say he's going to end up with a double-double again tonight.
Maybe, just maybe.
Just maybe.
And Bracy Davis is going to go to the line once again. Foul's going to be called there.
You know, Coach Chad Johnson's done a really good job of getting Bracy Davis in a position where he can score. 2 plays before, we've seen a big-to-big screen. This play, we've seen the guard come off of Bracy, flared off of the big screen, and attacked his right hand, his strong hand. Here we are at the free throw line.
That foul was on Forte. A reminder, you can pick up the latest gear from your favorite team exclusively from New Era, the official merchandise partner of the CEBL, and it's 7 teams across Canada. Visit CEBL.ca and click on Shop. Get yourself some Rattlers and Bandits gear. This Rattlers, and like both of these jerseys are very good looking. The Bandits colors and logo are among my favorites in the league. Rattlers aren't far behind. Rebound there by Webster Chan after the miss by Clausen.
Look good, feel good, play good.
Exactly.
Look good, feel good, play good.
I can look good and feel good. There's no way I'm ever going to play good. Robinson Opong back in the game here as Bracy Davis will sit down. You're seeing short shifts for these guys. Probably something to do with just kind of getting back up to speed after months away from the game.
Definitely, and you also have to factor in that it is, it's a 15-day season, and again, I mentioned it earlier, you want to keep guys fresh. I mean, it's not as important right now to have guys in top form, but when we're into second week, when we're into game 6, 7, that's when these guys need to be able to execute and be able to close out games.
Here's Negus Webster Chan up high, pull up 3. And that is good. Negus Webster Chan from downtown, the pull-up 3.
I think he had something to say to me. I'm from his hood, so.
Foul called there on Negus Webster Chan. It'll be a sideline out of bounds. 1:11 to play here in the first quarter.
I think we're off to a better pace this game with score 22-17 in favor of the Rattlers. What did we end the last game? At halftime, 31-31, huh?
Yeah, it was 31-30 for Guelph at halftime. Both teams shooting sub 35%. That is not an issue so far. 22-17 here as the Saskatchewan Rattlers lead early on. Kyle Johnson with it up high. He'll drive. Pull up from mid-range. No good. Rebound grabbed there.
That's a good shot for him. That's a guy that he's made a living, that's been his bread and butter, that mid-range game. So, anytime you can get Kyle in a position to really, take a dribble, get into it, pop up into a shot, you've got a good shot.
Kemiose up top to Chris Joseph. He fires a 3 right in the eye of Tavarian Nix. Hey, look over to you there, did he, Chris?
Look over to me. That's my brother, man. We've played together for the last, for two of the last 3 seasons we played together.
So you're saying I could beat him one-on-one too?
I'm saying you cannot.
Let's be clear. I'm being quite tongue-in-cheek whenever I say that. I don't want anyone to think I have any basketball skill whatsoever. I don't want to be put on the spot. I'm okay at 2K, I suppose.
25-17. I'm actually really surprised that, Fraser Valley has eased off the press a bit. I guess, Bracy Davis has done a good job capitalizing when they've been in the press. So I guess that's deterred them in a sense.
And they have a foul here. That one Or not a foul, just out of bounds. 15-second shot clock is off here as Rashawn Brown will pick it up in the backcourt. They'll look for the last shot. Brown trying to find a screen. They're telling him to get the offense going. He's picked it up. Here's Ose. He'll drive. 3 on the clock. Puts it up. That's no good. But it's put back there. That's Denzel Taylor with the putback to close out the quarter. And 27-17, the defending champion Saskatchewan Rattlers lead. The second quarter coming up here on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca.
What is 100 years? In 1920, Erhard Cook turned a passion for headwear into the New Era Cap Company in Buffalo, New York. But everyone was making this kind of hat. So we came up with the big idea to make the best caps for the biggest sport. But something wasn't quite right. We wanted to show the logos with pride. And just like that, the iconic 5950 was born, changing the baseball cap forever. For the first time, the caps the pros wore on the field were officially sold in stores. And then something unique happened. Spike Lee called, the Spike Lee, and asked to have a red Yankees cap to match his jacket. We asked Major League Baseball, and they said, we had a chance to be disruptive. Spike's red cap launched sports headwear into a wider culture. Hip-hop made it a staple. Creators made it their own. Colors, fabrics, patterns. It was more than just your favorite team. And a gold sticker on the visor became as iconic as the cap itself. And those 4 numbers, we think it's an original production number. We don't know for sure, but we love them. From courtside to Crenshaw, from the 50 to 5th, it shouted that this is who you were, what you repped, and where you lived. The world saw it and wanted it. Where were we? Staying true to our roots. Fans of all sports became fans of us. People liked what we were doing, so our brand grew, and we became more than just a cap. That's 100 years. We thank you. Enjoy what comes next.
The Saskatchewan Rattlers closed out the first quarter on a 10-0 run as Sean Woodley with Javon Shepard rejoin you here for the second quarter between the Rattlers and the Bandits. 27-17, the Rattlers lead. Chris Joseph up top to Rashawn Brown. He'll drive on Manigat. That is...
This kid is not a rookie.
He does not look like it at all.
No. He's going to take some hits. There's going to be some bumps in the road.
And they are going to call him for the odd offensive foul as well, which they just did. But he looks great.
I'll take it. A young guy like that, you want him to be aggressive. You want him to be so aggressive that you have to tell him to slow down. And at the same time, he's been a floor general. A couple times today, I've seen him get guys in the right place, which usually is the role of your vets. So I'm really impressed with him.
Cadogan with it up top. 8 on the clock. He calls for the Forte screen. 2 guys cut him off. It lands in the hands of Forte off glass. That's good. We'll call that an assist for Junior Cadogan. Why not?
We'll give it to him.
Kemi Ose. Opong. And there we look at the assist by Junior Cadogan as it's like Kyle Johnson's down on the floor.
These guys are tough. They're built for it. Forte just knows how to finish around the basket, doesn't he?
Very soft left hand that guy has.
Lefties are always a tough, really tough cover. You're so used to, covering guys right-handed. When you get a lefty in front of you, it's like you spend a couple seconds thinking, okay, do I close out with my left hand or close out with my right hand? But
Johnson looks to be okay. Shakes it off. Pointing to a wet spot on the floor as they'll bring the mops out in the backcourt as Cadogan walks it up. Cadogan to Nix. Manigat looks to pull up, but no room. And we got a travel call against Jahens Manigat.
Tough. You know, I don't blame him on that. I think they moved the screens a bit too early. You got to give him a chance to use or run off of them. Give himself a split-second advantage that where he can get into an attack to the basket or reset for a rescreen.
27-19. The Rattlers lead. A reminder, Media Pro Canada is bringing you all of the images you're seeing here from Meridian Center. As Forte takes it and jams on the head of Kevin Bracey Davis. Cameron Forte.
I think there's going to be, okay.
Apparently that soft left hand can also do some hard things as well. As I was saying, Media Pro Canada bringing you the images here today. Rashawn Brown goes in. That's missed. Rebounded.
That's still a good attack. He's seen a mismatch. He had to keep Forte on him.
Manigat for three. That is good. We've got a timeout called by the electronic whistle of our official here today. And we've reached the media timeout. We'll be back with more here from Meridian Center on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca.
Well, when I was younger in high school, I was a pretty good athlete. Went to the provincial championships in most sports like volleyball, track, basketball, and of course the goalie. But lately I've been going up the stairs like Fred Sanford. That's why I use Inflamex. Remember, 2 M's, 2 X's.
Inflamex is formulated to relieve joint pain, helps address pain and inflammation at the cellular level, and is GMO-free and allergen-free.
I'm doing better with a little help from my friends at Bell Lifestyle Products, so you can do the things that you do best.
Oh, yeah!
Spend 2 nights in Ottawa and get $100 spending money on us. Dinner and drinks? It's on us. Or outdoor fun? It's on us. So relax. It's on us. Spend 2 nights and get $100.
A mark of legacy, a mark of our game. Spalding is the official basketball partner of the CEBL. Get your replica CEBL game ball now at CEBL.ca and take our game to your courts.
Most of our clients who come through our door and who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
Welcome back inside Meridian Center. Rashawn Brown getting the offense going. 10 on the clock here for the Rattlers. Chris Joseph with it. Swung around. Brown with it again. 6 on the clock. Brown will drive. Osei for 3. That's no good. Tap back out. Brown over to Bracey Davis. Can't get that to go. And a foul called there as they battle for the rebound.
I know I'm enjoying having basketball back when I enjoy seeing a 2-3 zone. A couple times we've seen it tonight, and it's actually refreshing to see, different schemes, different tactics going on.
Does that bring you like nightmares, from your Big Ten days back from Michigan, just running into zones?
Wisconsin Badgers, they used to sit on the three-point line, and to this day nobody figures out how to really collapse their defense. Not the most athletic guys, but they just stood at that three-point line.
10 on the clock here as Osei resets. Bracey Davis swung to the corner.
Forte with another board. That should be about 6 already.
Yeah, he's getting close to the double-double pretty early on.
Double-double.
Here's Rashawn Brown. Over to Chris Joseph, swung back to the corner. Bracey Davis will drive, and that is good. Kevin Bracey Davis gets it to go.
Just a check on Forte that he's at 10-5, so.
Junior Cadogan drives, righty finish, off glass. For Junior Cadogan.
Great use of the high ball screen, going downhill to his right hand, strong hand. Great use of the body, shielding his defender, finishing at the basket.
Another Big Ten man himself from Marquette. They're the Big Ten, right?
You know what? Big Ten now, but they weren't Big Ten before. That's still unfamiliar.
It's all very confusing to me.
Yeah, it's in my mind. It's still Big East. So.
Cadogan. Manigat drives. And that's going to be a charge against Jahens Manigat.
You know, he's been a little out of control tonight, which is surprising to me because I spoke to Kyle Julius before the match, and he mentioned that this is a system guy. He's a guy that flourishes, you know, just knowing where he has to be on the floor. So I'm a little surprised to see him out of control.
As we all know, the work for social justice does not stop. This is not a moment. This is something that is continuing on, and you will hear players, coaches, and staff from the CEBL speaking out against racism all through the CEBL Summer Series. As well, you see, racism is not our game, the quote on the baseline, on each of the baselines, as well as the quote on the back of warm-up shirts, and a reminder of the work that we all need to do to work towards equality in Canada. This is not just an America thing, this is an everywhere thing, and we certainly have our own things to reconcile with up here.
Heard Rashawn Brown and one yell Junior Cadogan's face. That's a little, a lot of these guys.
He does not care.
No, he doesn't really care.
I mean, in fairness, Cadogan is doing his own talking as well.
He is, but these guys, great bucket by Rashawn. Great, like, but you know, a lot of these guys have grown up and played basketball in similar cities, around the Toronto area. I know those two have, and haven't really had the chance to compete against each other, or are from same areas. So I think now there's an opportunity. Guys really want to set themselves apart and especially from guard play. There's a lot of chirping when it comes on to guards, and let each other know that I'm the top guy. I'm still the top dog.
Cadogan misses the three. Osei brings it back the other way, throws up a three, and is going to go to the line to shoot three. Kemi Osei out of Montreal, Quebec, and Little Rock, class of 2017, the 6'1 guard Osei. A reminder, we've got games non-stop for you, really. Just games flying hot and heavy for the next couple weeks here. Tomorrow, we're back, Javon. We got Edmonton and Hamilton in a game that I'm quite excited for.
So I'm stuck with you again?
You are stuck with me again. I'm sorry for your misfortune. Also, be sure to support your local team and get the latest news, videos, and highlights through Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow Saskatchewan at Sask_Rattlers and Fraser Valley at FV_Bandits. Some great video content, highlights. A lot of mascot content, which I haven't seen any of the mascots around. I'm quite disappointed they weren't deemed essential personnel.
What is a rattler?
It's a rattlesnake.
Is that what's on the jersey?
Yeah.
It looks like a bear.
Welcome to the Summer Series. Okay, we got to get a close-up of the Rattlers logo or something. Yeah, you see the little tail there as we inspect.
I must have left my glasses at the hotel.
I think it's more like a viper. It's kind of a thick, if we're going to go snake sort of anatomy, it's a bit of a shorter and wider snake, but it is certainly a snake. It's got fangs.
Brown has done a really good job in the pick and roll tonight. If he gets in the pick and roll, he identifies the switches and has attacked Forte a couple times tonight.
It's not easy for a young guard as well, playing with guys he's never played with, too. Like I can imagine, to kind of get that pick and roll chemistry with his bigs that way so quickly.
But you know what? He's making really good reads, and he's making basketball plays. So I think that's what is really setting him apart right now. Again, another ball screen.
And he pulls up there. Rashawn Brown, no good. Rebound grabbed by Manigat.
Which is, he missed a shot, but it's still a good read. Junior Cadogan went under the screen, had an open shot, took it.
Here's Forte backing down. Can't get it to go with the left, but man, I love watching him post up. It's really fun. Counters for days.
Yeah. But I think at this point now, he has to do a really good job, better job of getting it in the post and getting guys involved. He's made a couple moves, had a couple chippies at the basket that he's missed.
DeVivier misses there.
Really good shooters on the perimeter that he can get shots out to.
Joseph threw the rebound away. It came back to DeVivier from Cadogan, but that's a miss as well. And they'll slow things down here a little bit as things get a tad frantic. 38-30, Saskatchewan leads.
Osei's done a good job of setting up their offense. I really like how Saskatchewan is, they've actually gotten into the sets. You can see it was one of the teams that actually get the ball over half, stop, make their calls, and get into their screens, get into their staggers.
It's nice to have 2 guys or even 3 guys here as Joseph runs a pick and roll. Couldn't quite convert there, but having multiple guys who can run at the point of attack, I mean, just kind of keeps the defense on their toes.
On their toes, yep.
We're going to hit a timeout here called by the Bandits. We'll stick with you, though. Javon, 3:50 left in the half. Fraser Valley trails by 8 here. If you're Coach Julius over on the Fraser Valley bench, what are you telling your team? How do you try to close out this half the right way?
I think we need to control the pick and roll with Rashawn Brown and Osei. I think once we get that under control and then we can start to apply our pressure again, you know, we can get some easy things. They've gone inside. Sorry, I keep saying we. I think I'm a player still. But they've gone inside to Cameron Forte a couple of times, and I think now he needs to, you know, track the defense like he's doing, but not so much force at the rim, but kick out, get guys some open shots. He has some really good shooters on his team. Kyle Johnson and you know, Junior is a really good shooter. Merrick Klassen's a good shooter. Get those guys some open shots, get them going, and then let's get some flow offensively.
It does seem like the Rattlers have been pretty disciplined in not sending 2 guys to Forte when he posts up, and obviously that compromises your defense when you got to send 2 guys. They're kind of relying on their bigs to stick there with him, and that it's been successful. So, you know, hopefully they can continue to do that. If you're Coach Jacobson and the Rattlers, you don't want to have to overcompromise and overcompensate to stop one guy, and they seem to be doing an okay job with it.
Right. I think what they're doing is they're mixing up their defense. So sometimes they're sending a double from the bottom side, and a couple of times they haven't sent any. So I think they're mixing it up, which is also keeping him guessing, right? Keeping him on his toes. And I think, you know, once he makes his turn into his move, you have more to think about, and that's where we're missing a couple of chippies around the basket.
Forte leads all scorers with 12 points. Of course, he led all scorers coming into this game with 28 points in the Bandits opener, their win over the Edmonton Stingers. There's Kenny Edgem making his first appearance in the game. We saw Ryan Edgem earlier today with the River Lions in their loss.
And both these Edgem brothers remind me of their brother Melvin, a guy that I played with the Canadian national team. He's actually having a really successful career over in Europe. But they're all, like, these guys are all undersized, 4, 5, can play some 3, but they play extremely hard, can do whatever on the court. Really high-level utility guys.
Here's Kemi Osei over to Rashawn Brown. He'll drive. Pulls up. That gets it to go. Nice little bounce there for Rashawn Brown. He was looking for a call as well.
Is this a personal battle?
It seems that way. Quite an age difference between the two. Cadogan, of course, a veteran of Canada basketball, but seems to be a little personal at this moment. Capers goes for the steal, knocks it away, and it's going to stay with the Rattlers, who lead currently by 12.
And you know what? In Rashawn's defense, you've probably grown up, you know, hearing about the legend of Junior Cadogan, hearing about Junior Cadogan, the national team guy, hearing about Junior Cadogan at Marquette. You never had the opportunity to, you know, face off against him. This platform provides that space.
Osei, 7 on the clock. Looks to step back, doesn't fire. Brown will drive, and that is swatted away by Marcus Capers. 2 on the clock here, so something quick. What do you run on when you have 2 seconds here? What kind of thing are you looking for?
Screen to screener, get a quick shot.
They're going to swap out the ball. And then they will go and sanitize that previously used ball. Again, many protocols in place here. Edgem. Hey, not exactly a clean look, but he gets it to go either way. Kenny Edgem.
I'm sure that's not what they drew up, but we'll take it.
They're going to rule that a 2. Cameron Forte, guarded by Osiandi. Big-to-big pass to Capers, and a foul is going to be called there.
Yeah, now you see guys complaining to pass the ball.
That foul's on Osiandi.
They've broken this open a bit, 14-point lead.
Yeah, it's kind of been, it hasn't gone on a crazy run or anything like that. It's just been kind of steady. This game was tied at 17 at one point as well.
Right, slow, steady increments.
Forte with it. Cadogan. 9 on the clock. DeVivier cuts in. Off to Forte. Nice little set there.
That's a great play. You have a pin down, comes off the screen, hits the roller, easy basket. You force your defense to step up. You have to make choices at that point. The defense can't guard everything.
Here's Osandy. Pulls up. Can't get that to go. And a chance to string together a bit of a run here for the Bandits after a stop. Here's Cadogan. He'll drive, kicks it over to DeVivier. He'll drive, kicks it back to the other side, swinging around. Great ball movement here. Cadogan for three. And that is good. Great possession. And Junior Cadogan wants us to know something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure we can say that we have it on.
You saw his back.
Right.
We saw what he was doing at the front, and we'll just leave it at that. Chauncey Billups has some familiarity with what he was doing, if you know what I mean. Here is Osei driving. They're going to call
that's a bailout by the ref.
There, yeah. Osei is going to go to the line. Seemed like Cadogan was staring you down as that happened.
He knows I know him. I know his body of work. We've actually been in a couple group chats where he said he's going at every single guard in this league. So Junior has a chip on his shoulder, and he's going out to prove that he feels like he's been overlooked for the past couple of years. So he definitely has something to prove.
I'm guessing these guards aren't also in the group chats.
I'm leaving it here.
Osei knocks in the first. Extends the lead back out to 10. Two for two trip for Kemi Osei. And Cadogan will walk it back up. Here is Forte underneath. Couple guys converge on him, and he is going to go to the line to shoot a couple as well. The Rattlers bench is none too pleased. Both benches are quite animated.
I can agree with Saskatchewan on this one because he was surrounded by four guys, so the ref kind of bailed him out.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go. That means you have four of your offensive players open.
Mm-hmm. Forte will head to the line, sitting on 12 points so far. His first trip to the line, however. Misses on the first. Reminder coming up at the half. Amy Audibert has a sit-down interview with Commissioner Mike Moriali. We'll run a part of that. Also a recap of yesterday's games in the CEBL, including a very fun one between Edmonton and Ottawa. Probably the game of the tournament so far. Well, this one's not been so bad. Good offense on both sides. Edgem drives. He might have gotten away with a little bit of a walk there.
Yep.
Foul's called, though. Edgem's going to go to the line to shoot two. I wonder what the pickup games at the Edgem household were like as those guys were growing up.
I know it was physical.
I can imagine.
I know that much.
I guess we could consider them the first family of the CEBL with two Edgems taking part.
Wherever Melvin is, what is it going to take to have you play a game?
That's what I've been thinking, man. I love Melvin Edgem. Forever overlooked as a member of the national team because he doesn't play in the NBA. But he's awesome. He's great, versatile, always there as well, which you can't say for a lot of the NBA guys. Here is Junior Cadogan. He gets that to go. And he's talking to Javon again. I'm enjoying this game
out of the
within
group
game.
chat. I'm leaving this group chat.
I think he's just taking the group chat to the world. That's fine. Here's Kemi Osei. Gets it to go off glass. Nice finish through traffic there, and the shot clock is off. Cadogan will walk it up in Fraser Valley, look for the last shot of the half.
See what they have here? I see a high ball screen. Oh, pin down.
Here's DeVivier. 6 on the clock, down to Forte. He'll post up, just 4 on the clock now. Tries to kick it out. Clausen puts it up. And they call a travel on Merrick Clausen. He knew it.
Seeing the length of Bracy Davis, if that was anybody else, I don't know if they would have deterred that shot. but just because he's able to cover so much ground with his length, turnover.
Just point one.
And that's something you can't teach.
And we've reached the end of the half here as the Saskatchewan Rattlers lead 49-38 over the Fraser Valley Bandits as they both look to become the last standing undefeated team here in the CEBL Summer Series. We're going to wait for Amy Audibert to get situated down on the baseline as we'll have her do an interview as Kevin Bracey Davis just had that big closeout, had a big first half as well, joins Amy Audibert down on the sideline.
Thank you, Sean. Kevin, pretty good first half, solid 9 points, but a lot of hoops to play. So what more can you do for your team out there?
I could just be a little more active on defense and just try to stay aggressive and just keep playing off my teammates.
The Bandits came out the other night and dropped 59 in the first half. Much different story. What's working so well for you guys on the defensive end?
Coach put a lot of emphasis on transition defense. He said if we get back early and we start the transition, they'll have trouble scoring in the half court. So that's just been our main priority and just getting out the shooters.
Appreciate your time, Kevin.
No problem.
All right, and we'll be right back for more CEBL action after this break.
Okay, I've been working like 3 jobs. Probably why I never see ya. Probably why I never have time for the fake friends that won't be ya. Oh God, I've been running now. Up early when the sun is out. Not setting out my own soul, but those real ones, they coming out. Oh, look who's reaching out. Old friends wanna feature now. They don't work, so they need it free. Ooh, you reaching out from the west side of that old town, but there's no shows till I go down to the open mic. Show love to the real ones that know now. Some of y'all don't know now. In a couple months, you gon' find out. Been blowing up from the underground, and they stepping on a landmine now. And he knows it's my time now. Coming up, I'm on a climb now. Everybody claim they been ballin', but it's looking like they took a time out. Okay, I'm working on a Wednesday, then up again the next day. So-and-so is popping, man, I skip him like he leg day. Kick it like I'm Pele, I never care what they say. Put myself on Spotify, so every day my payday. That realness, don't feel this, but I've been sick, that illness. I've been fresh like Will Smith since 94, man, I built this. Stressed out, X'd out, missed calls from my ex now. But I'm staying focused in the lab, baby, I don't need your calls or your text now. God say the boy blessed now. Who am I to say Rondo? And the way that I sell ticks, they been calling me Rondo. 23 in my prime though, finna ball like Lonzo. Go and tell everybody talking stage better be in that convo.
It was a Saturday. Chris was a good dad. His water practices, not so much. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Culligan. Got a water pitcher for the fam. Pretty safe, huh?
Well, basic water pitchers are passable, whereas a Culligan reverse osmosis system can reduce lead, arsenic, pesticide runoff.
You realize these have filters?
Chris, pour it out.
It's not going fast enough. Just done with that.
When your water's right, so is your world. I wrote that!
The defending champion Saskatchewan Rattlers lead the Fraser Valley Bandits 49-38 at halftime here at Meridian Center. Coming up in the halftime show for you, we've got a recap of yesterday's action in the CEBL. As well, Amy Audibert has a sit-down with Mike Moriali, who I saw earlier out here trying to touch the rim, former basketball and football player, of course. He couldn't do it, so we'll talk to him. Maybe Amy talks about that. I'm not sure. Stay tuned for that. We've also got the visiting head coach interview with Chad Jacobson. We'll go back through Javon's keys to the game, and we'll get to the halftime stats presented by Bet Chris. That's coming up in the half on CBC Gem and on cbcsports.ca.
Welcome to Payworks. We're payroll, HR, and time and absence management experts. So whether your business has thousands of employees or just one, let us show you how we're different. We're Payworks, and we're doing business to business, person to person.
A mark of legacy, a mark of our game. Spalding is the official basketball partner of the CEBL. Get your replica CEBL game ball now at cebl.ca and take our game to your courts.
Most of our clients who come through our door and who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
It's time to rep your CEBL pride, Canada. Exclusive New Era merchandise is now available on CEBL.ca. Buy your favorite hats, replica jerseys, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Welcome to our game. Rattlers fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit therattlers.ca and take advantage of this exclusive summer series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience. Bandits fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit thebandits.ca and take advantage of this exclusive summer series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience.
Day 3 getting underway. The Honey Badgers and the Nighthawks. Owen Klassen wins it. One of the great stories of the CEBL. And look at Arledge. Ball fake, two-handed crush to 16 for the Honey Badgers. Up top, Dwayne Notice, Owen Klassen hooking it up on the alley-oop connect. Summer series and a 3 by Green to start off the second quarter. That didn't take long, Joe, cutting the lead to 2. Weber, look at him. Get right in the grill. Weber, fade away. Ooh, good D, better O. He ends up taking it back up top. Great look down low. Dwayne Notice says no. Dwayne Notice with a little Dikembe Mutombo action there. Taking Reynolds to the hole. If there's anybody who should have ended this game, it is that man right there, Dwayne Notice, putting it on ice for the Honey Badgers. They get in the win column. He is nothing but business. Professional careers that are starting here that will be leapfrogged out of this, and it's the Blackjacks winning the tip. Diawara down to Daniels, and a big-time block, Jean-Emmanuel Pierre-Charles. Looks like he's always in control. And there's a block by Daniels, a 24-second shot clock violation. On the floor, in transition, Brad Mescal to Tommy Scrubb. Getting up to throw down. He fires it, comes back to Moon. 8 on the shot clock, off the Daniels screen. Oh, he splits the D, drops it off to Baker. Xavier Moon for Hannah Mescal. Great deflection and transition. Matthew Kamba with the block on one end and the smash on the other. Matthew Kamba, he called game. He just dropped them.
What is 100 years? In 1920, Earhart Cook turned a passion for headwear into the New Era Cap Company in Buffalo, New York. But everyone was making this kind of hat. So we came up with the big idea to make the best caps for the biggest sport. But something wasn't quite right. We wanted to show the logos with pride. And just like that, the iconic 5950 was born, changing the baseball cap forever. For the first time, the caps the pros wore on the field were officially sold in stores. And then something unique happened. Spike Lee called, the Spike Lee, and asked to have a red Yankees cap to match his jacket. We asked Major League Baseball, and they said, we had a chance to be disruptive. Spike's red cap launched sports headwear into a wider culture. Hip-hop made it a staple. Creators made it their own. Colors, fabrics, patterns. It was more than just your favorite team. And a gold sticker on the visor became as iconic as the cap itself. And those 4 numbers, we think it's an original production number. We don't know for sure, but we love them. From courtside to Crenshaw, from the 50 to 5th, it shouted that this is who you were, what you repped, and where you lived. The world saw it and wanted it. Where were we? Staying true to our roots. Fans of all sports became fans of us. People liked what we were doing, so our brand grew, and we became more than just a cap. That's 100 years. We thank you. Enjoy what comes next.
talking points leading into the summer series has been the Canadian talent, and the amount and the quality has gone right up. I'm really excited, but why do you think some of our best basketball players are coming home to play?
Well, last year, we had the kind of proof of concept phase. We had a tremendous group of basketball players that played, no doubt about it. Many who are still playing here this year. But we started to see, new agents, new players, higher name guys, just knocking on the door. And we added about 75 new players this year. We have over a dozen senior men's national team players. We have guys from all over the G League, from NCAA to U Sport, etc. And the quality of coaching's gone up, the quality of players has gone up, and I think we proved to them, these guys are kind of legit here. And some of it is good karma and silver linings amidst everything that was going on. So all of our best players were home already in March, where they wouldn't have been home till mid-May or even into June. And they weren't going back anywhere else, so we kind of had a really captive audience. And it's worked almost as we scripted it. And I'm really happy about that. And I really can't wait for those guys to return next year and get a feel for the whole experience, right? From their home markets and the whole shoot and match. And let's start here and get it off the ground and get it going, and then we'll take the next steps from there. Earlier on today, put your hand up. How many of you guys have buddies that are playing basketball right now? It ain't happening. So this is like the platform. And I'm proud that it's a Canadian platform sprinkled in with some top international players. They're showcasing not only what they do on the court, but how to do it safely and effectively. And I think we're going to be someone that people are able to go to from not only a pro sports level, but more importantly from an amateur sport or minor sport level and say, how do we pull this off? Because there's thousands of young kids that need to play and want to play basketball.
Welcome back inside Meridian Center here in St. Catharines, Ontario, home of the CEBL Summer Series 2020. The Fraser Valley Bandits find themselves 11 points in the hole against the defending champion Saskatchewan Rattlers. Sean Woodley here, joined again by Javon Shepard. Javon, quick thoughts on that first half and what the Bandits need to do here in the second half to turn things around.
I think that, they need to get back to their press, but I think a big part of it, too, is being able to, once the team has broken the press, guys have to run back. But
Oh yeah, so let's go on down to the sideline with Amy Audibert and Coach Chad Jacobson of the Saskatchewan Rattlers. Amy.
Thanks, Sean. Coach, you got a little cushion here, but with a team like Fraser Valley, that can disappear really quick. What are your expectations for your team in the first couple minutes here?
Well, I think we need to get back to controlling the tempo of the game. We were a little sloppy in the first half with our execution and some sloppy turnovers that led, to some easy transition points for them. So just being sound in the half court and getting back on D and forcing them to play in the half court is going to be big for us.
Cameron Forday's doing a majority of their scoring. Are you okay with one guy doing the work, or do you want to try to mix it up a little and get the ball out of his hands?
Yeah, I mean, he's a load down there. He's a problem. We knew that. We may have to throw a different look at him. But our guys are banging away, and hopefully we're a little bit better with some help and some support in the second half.
All right, Coach, we appreciate your time. Good luck in that second half. We'll go back to you guys.
Thanks, Amy, and thanks to Coach Chad Jacobson of the Saskatchewan Rattlers. Javon, we went over your keys to the game to start the game. Were these teams living up to those keys that you laid out for them before the game? Let's start with Saskatchewan.
You know what? For Saskatchewan, a key for them was going to be transition defense, because we know Fraser Valley was going to push it down, push the tempo of the basketball game. They've only allowed 11 transition buckets. That's fair considering. Also, we want to get Kevin Bracey-Davis involved early. Done a really good job of that. We've seen him come off of screens. We've seen him come off of flares. We've seen him handling the balls for his 9 points in the half. I think just that ability just to touch the ball and get rhythm was good for them. Also, perimeter defense. I think they've done a really good job with that. If I could control one league, I would say, Junior Cadogan, who's a guy, he has 12 points in the half right now, but he's also a guy that can start to get guys assists. So if we can control him, we'll be doing a better job on the perimeter.
Just 3 of 11 from downtown for the Bandits in that first half. In terms of the Bandits, how are they holding up to your keys of the game?
A key for them is obviously going to be their defense and their full court press. I think they did a great job pressing, but the thing is once Saskatchewan broke the press, guys didn't get back in time. So we've seen Forte get a couple of easy baskets around the bucket, which forced them to take off the press. If they can get back to that, get guys running back, get behind the ball, we'll be in a good position. They'll be in a good position for success. Toughness, they're never going to be outmatched. I think they're always going to be able to pick that up going forward. Drive and kick to shooters. would be my last thing. And I think where they're getting Forte the basketball down low, it's time now where, the defense is shrinking in on him to kick it out and really get guys involved. Other than that, I think both teams are doing a really good job sticking to their game plans.
Cameron Forte, as you mentioned, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 7 of 13 shooting, but 0 assists in that first half. Let's take a look now at the halftime stats presented by BetCris. You got the Rattlers leading the rebounding battle there, 26-18. Assists 75. A lot of sort of iso ball, right? You're not seeing the ball swing around all that much. It's just kind of guys driving and see if they can finish. Steals 3-1 there for the Bandits as well. And the field goal percentages a little better than what we saw earlier in the previous game with Guelph and Niagara. And so both teams working pretty well offensively right now. Just about 30 seconds away here. Any final stray thoughts on the second half we have on tap here? Keep in mind the Elam ending kicks in 4 minutes left, or the closest stoppage to the 4-minute mark in the fourth quarter. The Elam ending will kick in, and at 9 points will be added to the leading team's score to create the target score that both teams are playing to for the victory. That's exciting stuff. Just math. Let's do math. 18 minutes of game time, 20 minutes of game time away. So you got to keep an eye. Once you get near the end of this quarter, you're going to start thinking, okay, exactly how do you sort of calibrate all this? It's 16, by the way. We're not playing 48-minute quarters. It's FIBA rules.
I was never good at math, so.
That's why I'm in broadcasting. Yeah, I didn't think I'd have to do on the fly fast math, but we're here anyway. We're here for the second half as Junior Cadogan picks it up and walks it up here for the Bandits, who again trail by 11. Here's Merrick Clausen starting the half after starting in the bench in the first half for Kyle Julius. There's Forte, kicks it out.
Perfect. I think they heard me.
They did.
I think they heard me.
It's no way it's coaching. It's definitely us. Offensive foul called there.
And you know what? He had 3 guys coming at him, so it's great that he made the pass. Negus Webster-Chan was on the perimeter, and he was digging in, and then he had the weak side coming on the bottom side to double. So, and I'm not sure if they were coming actually to double, but just throwing a look at him to force him to get the ball out of his hands.
Here's Kemi Osei, who walks it up. Osei had 9 points in the first half, 2 of 6 from the field. Chris Joseph, baseline, loses it, battle for the ball, passes it, skips it across to Osei. Around to Bracey Davis. He drives, mid-range pull-up. That's good. Kevin Bracey Davis up to 11 points in the game.
There's no way to guard that. When this guy gets to his spot, picks his spots to dribble and elevates with his length, when he gets up into his jump shot, there's no way for you to contest that.
Here is Malcolm DeVivier. Takes the screen from Forte. Forte gets it on the roll. Haven't seen that much. It's been a lot of post-ups. Not a lot of pick and roll, but nice to see there for Forte.
You know what? He had a couple plays in the first half where he was actually creating. His structure doesn't look like the most creative guy, but he's had a couple plays where he's dropped down to Forte as well as some of his other guards and got some easy baskets around the rim. So, if you watch that, he's a guy that you definitely have to play through and let him make some decisions.
Here's Osei. Takes the screen from Denzel Taylor. Joseph now with it on the wing. Taylor comes to screen for him. Tries to slip in the pass, but no dice. Goes the other way. Forte up, and he's fouled. He's going to go to the line.
Yeah, he's a scorer. He's a scorer.
He sure
is.
Let's get a look now at the bucket by Forte on the pick and roll earlier.
Good drop down by DeVivier. Great drop down. That's a great find. He could have been a selfish player and made a selfish play there and tried to attack the basket.
Forte misses the first.
I think plays like those should count for 2 assists. Because 1, you get the assist, but 2, you get another guy involved. And both you guys, everybody starts to feel good about, being involved in the match.
Here's Osei. He's got Klassen on him in his shirt. Over to Joseph. He surveys. Takes a step in, tries to flip it up there to Taylor. Back out to Joseph for 3. That's no good. Rebound grabbed by DeVivier. They push it up. Here's Cadogan. Down to Forte. This was the thing is, the Bandits would get a couple stops here and there, but couldn't quite string together a run to pull back the deficit.
He got away with a foul there.
Chris Joseph puts it in.
Oh, no.
A little Charlie horse, it looks like, here for Joseph. Hopefully he's okay. Looks like he's going to be subbed out. And a whistle blown down there.
Oh. That's something you don't want to see. I wonder if it's aggravating. He already missed a game banged up.
Yeah, making his debut is Chris Joseph. Hopefully it's just a stinger and he can come back.
Yeah.
We'll keep you posted on that if we hear anything on Chris Joseph. Kenny Edgem into the game. Here's Clausen. Takes a screen from Forte, walled off. Pulls up for three. That's good. Merrick Clausen from downtown.
You know, that's a guy you want to see a little more from. He had a great season with Fraser Valley last year, so you really want to see him step up and just be a bit more aggressive.
Osei, reach-in foul going to be called here on DeVivier. It'll be a sideline out of bounds as Rashawn Brown is set to check back in. Brown in the first half had 8 points to go along with 4 boards. Again, first year out of the University of Manitoba, one of the best players in U Sports for the last few years, but particularly this past season. To the corner, Negus Webster-Chan for three. That is cash for Negus Webster-Chan.
Great arc and rotation on that shot. You could tell when he caught it, he was just confident, got popped up into a shot.
Junior Cadogan. Up to Forte, back to Clausen. He goes and kicks it out to Capers. That's no good. Rebound grab by Webster-Chan as he skies for it.
Good job. Great job. Great rebound there.
Rebounding bigger than your position. Important, especially when your tallest guy is 6'8", Jelaine Price, who's not out there right now. Kenny Edgem will drive into the lane. Bracy Davis gets it ripped away. Cadogan will push it the other way, see if they can get something quick here. Pull up for three. Can't do it, but Forte on the offensive glass, and a bit of a kerfuffle between Webster-Chan and Cameron Forte.
Things getting a bit chippy out here.
Bell Lifestyle Products is proud to provide natural health products for elite athletes of the CEBL, retired athletes, and weekend warriors alike. Never stop doing your thing. Men's health empowered by nature. Bell Lifestyle Products. And Kotak Law, the official law firm of the CEBL Summer Series, knows these times have been hard for many Canadians. That is why they are donating $7,000 to the Canadian Mental Health Association and invite CEBL fans to join them as well. Visit cmha.ca today and join Ninish Kotak in supporting the mental health of Canadians from coast to coast. Again, that's cmha.ca. 56-43, 13-point lead here, 12-point lead after, 11-point lead after the two makes from the line for Cameron Forte.
Game moves fast. Ooh. See, that's the pressure we were talking about. If these guys get up and get in them, they can force them to turn over the basketball.
This game doesn't feel as though it's an 11-point deficit. I mean, Fraser Valley's not felt out of it by any means.
Easy baskets.
Malcolm DeVivier.
Easy baskets.
On the pass from Clausen, now within single digits. Clausen is in Brown's shirt, and he doesn't seem pleased with the call.
Kyle Julius, he's not too happy about that.
Yeah, you might hear that coming through the mics. Kyle Julius saying that Rashawn Brown's flopping. Rashawn Brown's not hearing it.
Shrugs it off like a true vet, rookie vet.
Brown drives into the trees, loses it. Clausen looking for a foul there, it seemed. And they're going to call an over and back on Bracy Davis. Bit of an interesting sequence there. That's the word I'll use. Interesting.
A little sloppy play here.
Refs are conferring.
Last couple plays, Fraser Valley's done a really good job of settling down and you know, really executing, setting screens. And you see they were able to get 2 easy layups out of it. So
they're going to call no over and back, and the ball is going to go back to Saskatchewan here. Inadvertent whistle they're calling. So it'll be Saskatchewan ball. They lead by 9, 6:14 to go here in the third quarter. And there's still chat going on with the official by Rashawn Brown. Seems as though cooler heads have prevailed, and we will carry on with the basketball game. Edgem will inbound, backcourt to Rashawn Brown. He'll walk it up with a full shot clock at his disposal. Bracy Davis up high. Puts it on the deck. He slips. Scramble for the ball. It's fed up. Capers back to Forte. Forte going in. He'll finish it. Hoop in the harm for Cameron Forte. He's going to go to the line. And the Bandits are fired up. Capers calling for Manigat in there just for a team chat.
And this is the type of basketball you can expect from Fraser Valley. You're never going to count them out because these are the type of guys Coach Kyle Julius recruits, guys that are tough as nails, guys that are about the grind.
It's also quite a veteran team, really. You know, a lot of guys who have been 5, 6, 7, 8-year pros.
Yeah.
Played around.
And willing to buy into Coach Kyle Julius's philosophy. I actually had a conversation with him, a couple weeks ago where, I asked him, how does he recruit? And he says, I recruit guys in 3 phases. There's a survival phase, adaptation phase, and a snap phase. And to go, just to touch on them a little bit, his survival phase is, an extensive training, and he weeds guys out like that in his training camps. If his best player is throwing up and wants to quit, he's okay with him leaving. If he's not in shape and ready to play, he's good riddance. His adaptation phase, guys are going to get tired, guys are, fighting, but he wants them to push past that. And his snap phase, which he expects his team to be in when most of these teams here are tired, are where guys are starting to ask questions, stay late for practice, execute more, and, they have a little spunk in their step, right? Like as soon as you get out of that fatigue area, now you're ready to play basketball. So it's tough. When you have veterans that are willing to buy into that rigorous system, you have a good team.
Fantastic hire was Kyle Julius for the Fraser Valley Bandits as Malcolm DeVivier goes to the line. Was fouled by Shane Osiande. Just a 7-point lead here for Saskatchewan. Fraser Valley hanging in, chipping away. And now just a 6-point game as the Rattlers will look to inbound. Some full court look here. Opong with it. As our intrepid sideline reporter Amy Audibert pointed out earlier, a member of the Ugandan national team, Robinson Opong. Bracy Davis up top. He's got Forte on him. Pulls up for 3. No good, pops out. And another stop here for the Bandits as they look to close the lead further. Manigat for 3. That's just off the lip of the rim. Osei with the rebound.
They're doing a better job in the second half of moving the ball and getting guys shots.
Jelaine Price. And a foul under the basket. That's also going to go on Shane Osiande. His second foul in a couple minutes here. So Fraser Valley will get it back.
Are you sensing a slight momentum shift here?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I was just going to ask you that as the person who has, been on the floor for momentum shifts and has much more experience. My momentum is always, it's very rarely strong or high.
Yeah, I sense Fraser Valley has a little more juice right now, they're slightly more motivated. Capers done a good job of that as well, rallying his guys together.
And they'll inbound here. 5:14 to play here in the third quarter. And now we get to the time where you start to keep an eye on that scoreboard just to see how close things stay as the Elam Ending kicks in with 4 minutes left in the fourth. Forte down low. Looks for the handoff, fakes it, then finds Clausen. 7 on the clock. Behind the back to Forte. Little lefty floater. And they're not going to call a foul there. Kyle Julius, offensive foul that is, on Forte. Julius is displeased, and he'll have the media timeout to think it over and perhaps talk to a referee or two about the call. We're going to continue on to the third quarter here. Bandits Rattlers on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca.
The CEBL is more than just basketball. It's about community, art, music, stories, food, and so much more. It's a professional basketball experience like no other, a lifestyle like no other, and it's time to bring it all together. Welcome to the CEBL Life, a forum where artists, musicians, videographers, community workers, writers, chefs, and innovative minds unite for one purpose, to showcase their talents and connect with a sport we all love, basketball. Head over to CEBL.ca to learn more. Follow the Saskatchewan Rattlers on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the defending champion Rattlers have to offer. Follow the Fraser Valley Bandits on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the Bandits have to offer.
Welcome back to Meridian Center here on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca, as well on Twitch for the CEBL, and broadcasting as far as Spain. So to all of our international viewers, thank you for being with us here as CEBL action continues in the CEBL Summer Series. Delane Price drives, and a foul called on Cameron Fortes. He was not quite set.
Inside that circle.
Also, just a reminder, Media Pro Canada is responsible for the images you're seeing here today. And we thank you for bearing with us as, you know, the odd time the play moves quite fast. It's a fast-paced league, Javon. And the AI cameras have to sort of adjust, and we appreciate you standing by through all of that.
Definitely fast-paced, high-paced league. And you need every player to really contribute. We've seen that tonight with Saskatchewan. They have 22 bench points. So they're really getting a solid contribution from everybody.
Absolutely. Here's Merrick Clausen, who came off the bench but is now playing a pivotal role for the Bandits. Tries to go off glass, no good. And a fight for the ball, and they're going to call a jump.
I'm assuming those whistles are missing a battery.
Yeah, using electronic whistles here. Again, one of the protocols to keep things germ-free and safe around here. Lots of different elements to putting on a series like this in such a short amount of time after many months of no sports whatsoever. So we, again, appreciate you sticking through us through all the hiccups and growing pains as we iron things out. Here's Robinson Opong for three. That's no good. Grabbed there by Malcolm DeVivier. Up to Marcus Capers. Capers with it. He'll give it back to Clausen. He'll drive. And can't get it to go, but a putback there by Jahens Manigat.
I think Clausen's been the turning point up for this Fraser Valley team in the second half. His pressure, his tenacity, and you know, the fact that he's getting guys involved has really changed. Oh.
Forte finds a way to get the ball to Clausen after bobbling it. That is one of the, let's call that a falling with style assist, a Buzz Lightyear assist, shall we call it that?
This is the Clausen show.
It worked. It certainly worked as a timeout's called here by Saskatchewan. It'll take the opportunity to remind you that the 2021 CEBL season ticket drive started yesterday and will run throughout the entire CEBL summer series. Visit therattlers.ca or thebandits.ca to place your $50 deposit and secure your 2020 season tickets, or purchase your season tickets completely by the end of the summer series and receive a 12% discount just a 2-point game here now, Javon, as the Fraser Valley Bandits have kind of ridden that energy that we've talked about now within just 2 points, and they seem to kind of be stealing it back after Saskatchewan kind of had it for the run of play from, say, the mid-first quarter into late into the second.
Right, I think, the guard play is what's really changed the tempo of this game. Like I was mentioning before, Merritt Klassen's a guy that's come in. He's really, picked up the pressure, picked up the intensity for his team, and guys have rallied around him and supported him. And we see that with a score, what is it? They cut it down to
57-55 right now.
57-55, 2-point lead.
The Bandits and the Rattlers both looking to move to 2-0 here in the CEBL Summer Series and get themselves that second win, which will be very valuable for just ensuring you're part of that top 6 to be in the knockout stage, and then also to, it's another win to work towards getting one of those buys, because as we talked about off the top of the broadcast, getting that bye with this condensed schedule in this series, really important because of the rest these guys currently don't have very much of.
And that's going to really be the key, is to be fresh when we are in we're in the 5th, 6th game, so that we're able to execute. Guys pop into the system. And once fatigue sets in, that's when guys break down. And, to avoid that, that's a tough shot.
Wide miss by Kemiose. DeVivier on the run.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
I guess that counts as a dunk, right? Sure, yeah. Malcolm DeVivier ties it up at 57s. Rashawn Brown drives.
That's a push-off.
Yeah.
I got you, ref.
The Bandits bench has been calling for Rashawn Brown push-offs all game long. They finally get one.
Coach Julius has been working the ref, and it came at a very timely time.
All tied up 57s. The Bandits have a chance to take the lead here. Clausen down to a Shalu, who's just recently checked in. He can't get that to go. Good defense at the rim by Jelaine Price. Price now with it. Bracy Davis with the smaller DeVivier on him. Turn around. Fouled, and will go to the line.
He's just undersized there. Again, the length of Bracy Davis is tough to defend, especially on this play when he turns into his shot. When he elevates with his length, it's really hard to contest his shot. Got him on the arm there, 2 at the free throw line.
Couple very different stories of point distribution so far on both of these squads. The Rattlers have only one player, maybe about to have 2. Sorry, no, it's not. Bracy Davis is the one player in double figures with 11. 3 guys with 9, 1 with 8, and 1 with 5, whereas 21 for Cameron Forte leading the way for Fraser Valley by quite a bit. Cadogan with 12 points.
But at the same time, you have Fraser Valley as a team that a guy can explode at any moment, right? So I really can't watch what the numbers are saying right now, especially going into that 4th quarter. That's when it's really the telling of the story.
Absolutely. Here is Clausen, finds a Shalu. Nice feed in traffic, but they're going to call an offensive foul on Clausen after the pass, it looks like almost. He's down. He's okay. He's up. He's just maybe more upset about the call than anything else. Calling no basket, and they foul on Merritt Clausen. Frustration with the officials, and as we talked about earlier, this is part of the CEBL. The CEBL is not just to develop young Canadian talent or young Canadian coaches or young Canadian executives. It's also a place to develop our own pro refs. And in conjunction with Canada Basketball, this is part of the ethos of the league. And so there might be some growing pains as guys who maybe aren't used to calling the pro game, and they're getting used to sort of the physicality of it all. But as with everything, they should improve as time goes on and they get more used to it. Rashawn Brown goes in, and he's fouled going up, and he's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
That's a part of the growing pains as far as the ref concerned. So
yeah. And, I mean, it's not like any coach has ever agreed with the referees on the whole anyways. So, take it with a grain of salt. Checking into the game for the first time is Jabs Newby. A newbie to the game, if you will.
Newbie to the game.
Look, did I plan that one when he signed in March? Maybe. From Brampton, Ontario, played for UDEA Balcanesto in Spain, a 6-year pro out of Gannon University.
See, that's tough when you have a guy like that, a 6-year pro that's been on your bench for, the bulk of the night. That just goes to show you the level of talent that's in this league.
It's a nice thing to have, certainly.
Yeah, definitely a nice problem to have.
And keep in mind, the guys who are playing as the Canadians in this league are imports in other leagues.
Correct.
They're viewed as being good enough to be imports and worthy of those valuable, very few import spots overseas, much like you yourself were, Javon.
Before, yeah. But, that's also the tough adjustment to, guys coming to this league is the fact that they were imports, relied on heavily in their previous teams.
Yeah.
Now you come to a league like this where it's full of quote-unquote imports.
Yeah.
Guys have to take a lesser role and sacrifice for the betterment of the team. So I'm sure a lot of these guys are having, it's an adjustment and tough for them mentally. But, I mean, if the common goal is to win this championship, we don't really have much choice.
Cadogan is at the line right now. Just cut it to a 60-58 lead for Saskatchewan as they trade blows back and forth. 1-point game after the make there. Under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Kemi Osei walks it up. Bracy Davis off a pin down. And he the foul is called on Junior Cadogan as Bracy Davis is going to go to the line to shoot two.
I have to say, Coach Chad Jacobson, my Twitter has been going off. They've been killing me. I had a slip of the tongue and called him Chad Johnson earlier. Chad Jacobson, I'm sorry. He's done a really good job of getting Bracy Davis going to his strong hand at the basket, drawing up some plays. At this, I believe here we had a pin down, off the ball screen to a pin down, right to his right hand and going to the basket.
Bracy Davis, the leading scorer again for the Rattlers today. Hey, we're always open to criticism and critique online.
Oh.
Why did I just invite that? But
I'm used to it as a player being in a foreign language that I can't understand. So now when the Rattlers fan base is attacking my Twitter, now I'm in your world now.
Hey, I'm nothing if not horribly online. Here is Junior Cadogan. Here's Capers driving. Tries to do a big-to-big pass there to Shalu, but no dice, and it bounces away, and it's going to stick with the Bandits. 5 on the clock.
Can you tell we're getting closer to the fourth quarter? There's a lot of bodies flying.
It is very intense right now, which is good to see. I mean, you're not sure. No fans in the stands to egg people on. It's always a bit uncertain, but these guys are incredibly competitive, and it's probably not a surprise to anybody that these guys are out here giving it their all. And they're playing for jobs, right? Like, this is continually adding to the resume, looking for that next step as well.
Exactly.
Rashawn
a lot
Brown.
of these guys, are looking for really good winter jobs. And again, this league provides these guys an opportunity to showcase. The only other guys playing right now have contracts in the NBA for the winter months. So this is a great opportunity for a lot of these guys to just showcase themselves and also develop their talents.
Absolutely. The CEBL is all about improving that talent pool of Canadian players worldwide. Here's Rashawn Brown. Out to Jelaine Price. He'll jack up a three. That's no good. Grabbed by Osei on the offensive board. He's going to put up a three himself. That's short. And you're seeing the bodies flying around, like you said. Just guys falling all over the place.
Interesting shot by Osei. He doesn't really get up off the floor much, does he? Shot that off of his tippy toes.
Yeah, it's kind of like a free throw motion from deep. I mean, it works. He hit the first Elam ending winner for the Rattlers earlier in the tournament.
So does he go down in the history books then?
Oh, it was technically Daniel Mullings who hit the first ever Elam ending bucket, but
he's first
for the Rattlers.
For the Rattlers.
Yes. By the way, on the note of people being in your mentions online, I did notice someone sent a picture of the Rattlers logo for you to get a closer up look. It is very much a snake, not a bear. Here's Manigat. That's good.
I think I have to make my way out to Saskatchewan.
Here's Osei. The foul's going to be called on Cadogan there. Five-second difference right now, shot clock and game clock. And over the limit, the Rattlers will go to the line. Osei will shoot 2 here. And the Bandits, in theory, will get the ball with the shot clock off.
When you can substitute Klassen for a Cadogan, two guys that are really tenacious and really tough on defense, that's a good problem to have as a coach.
I'm finding this is a thing on a lot of these teams. There's really good guard rotations. And I think teams are kind of realizing, multiple guys who can initiate for you and sort of offer event creation is kind of the way to go.
And not just at the guard position, but a lot of guys are interchangeable. A lot of these guys tonight are playing 3, 4, 5 positions and really successful at it, able to impact the game. That's the most important thing.
Here's Klassen driving on Price. Stops in the middle, out to Capers for 3. That's no good. Both offenses kind of drying up here as we reach the end of the quarter. It's 64-62 Saskatchewan. Heading into the fourth. Elam ending time on its way as well here on CBCSports.ca and CBC Gem.
Elam ending is upon us, and they take the timeout to set the target score. Gets up into the air, gets it to go! Not there, Boucard in the corner for 3. Guillaume Boucard at the buzzer, drains it, and the Niagara River Lions get out of here with a 93-92 victory.
Well, when I was younger in high school, I was a pretty good athlete. Went to the provincial championships in most sports like volleyball, track, basketball, and of course the goalie. But lately I've been going up the stairs like Fred Sanford. That's why I use Inflamex. Remember, 2 M's, 2 X's.
Inflamex is formulated to relieve joint pain, helps address pain and inflammation at the cellular level, and is GMO-free and allergen-free.
I'm doing better with a little help from my friends at Bell Lifestyle Products, so you can do the things that you do best.
Oh, yeah!
Fourth quarter time here on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca. Thank you for being with us. Sean Woodley with Javon Shepard in the color analyst chair as we get started. Fourth quarter between the Saskatchewan Rattlers and the Fraser Valley Bandits, 64-62. The Rattlers lead in what has been an excellent game so far. Offense is working well. Good back and forth action as Klassen pulls up. That's no good. And the Rattlers get their first possession of the final quarter. Again, at the 4-minute mark, the Elam ending will kick in. And that is a blast,
Sean,
especially in a close game.
Sean, I think we saw the Junior Cadogan and Rashawn Brown saga, the chirping back and forth. I actually received a tweet from Kirby Shep. Shout out Kirby Shep that there's these two guys both have Eastern Commerce roots. So I think that's the the little battle right here. But I also want to mention that Eastern Commerce can't compare anything to my high school, my alma mater, West Hill Collegiate. So shout out West Hill. Shout out to all my West Hill Warriors. The best basketball school in Toronto. We can't really speak much on Eastern Commerce. They no longer exist.
If you're not from the greater Toronto area and aren't aware of the high school basketball wars, I guess do some Googling, I suppose. I'm pretty sure my mom went to West Hill, if I'm not mistaken.
See?
There's she'll correct me if I'm wrong. And
Connection.
you see there, knocked off the rim there by Jelaine Price. That's the FIBA rules in action. You can play it off the rim. That's a great heads-up play there by Price to keep it from dropping in. It is FIBA rules here. It explains the 10-minute quarters and the action off the rim and the lack of timeouts as well, which is nice. And a foul there, and it's going to go the other way to the Bandits. That one's on Kevin Bracey Davis.
I'm going to go on a whim again. I said it before, but I'm a firm believer that this new Elam ending is actually won in the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter.
It really is. You got to keep your eye on the scoreboard there just to kind of see what the deficit's going to be. And, hey, if it's close, then that sets us up for a wonderful finish as well.
Right.
Osiande with the rebound. Osei will walk it up. Tries to blow by a newbie. Stops, turns around. A little crossover. Drives, kicks out to Jelaine Price. Righty finish attempt, no good. And then it's back to Clausen, who's on the run now. And kind of just like walks his way into a travel. Looked like he was just trying to force anything up, but too many steps there.
Strange. That's not like him. He's a guy that's pass first. I'm a little surprised at that.
I was almost certain he was going to try to hit the shooter in the left corner. That just kind of felt like a Merrick Clausen thing to do.
Natural.
4:29 remains until the Elam ending kicks in. And we have a very close game.
Very close game. Perfect game for this type of ending. But I'll say this. Sports on a whole, not just basketball, are won with, the execution of fundamentals. So I think the team that's going to be the most fundamentally sound down the stretch is going to be the team that's going to come out victorious.
Here is Brown into the mid-range, kicks back out to Joseph. Good to see him back after he got hurt a little bit earlier on, but a turnover there for Joseph as Forte runs the floor, the big man with it. Kicks to the corner and through the hands of Newbie. Cam Forte talking to his teammate there. It's all love.
That's tough, though. He hasn't played. He didn't play much the first half just to jump in, especially in a game that's this tight and get rhythm.
Here's a... Ooh. Sorry, that was Edgem driving. Fell, turned it over, and it's Fraser Valley ball again. The offense is both kind of slowing down a little bit, except for Forte.
See, that's what I expect from Merrick. This is a guy that's going to find the right pass, not just the open pass, but the right pass. And sometimes it's going to be the hockey assist.
Absolutely.
Not that I know much about hockey.
Chris Joseph. 3 comes up short. A reminder, the next Saskatchewan Rattlers broadcast you'll be able to check out on Fridays. They take on the Guelph Nighthawks, who picked up a win today against Niagara earlier on. That'll be part 2 of a doubleheader at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Rattlers and Nighthawks. Here's Newbie. Clausen. Up to Forte. Soft
really
finish.
Good play.
Changing hands there in the air.
Good
Cam Forte.
play. Great backscreen by JR getting Forte open. Merrick going to a strong hand to make the alley-oop pass.
Fraser Valley does now open up a 3-point lead. Every point matters as you head into the Elam ending. Osei. Turnaround jumper. That's no good. Still no buckets for Saskatchewan so far in this quarter.
I think they've gone away from what's been working for them. And again, they've gone to some me ball as opposed to executing some team.
As far as the next Fraser Valley Bandits broadcast, that's coming up on Thursday. Javon and I will be on the call for that one. 3 p.m. they take on 7 p.m. that is. They take on the Ottawa Blackjacks, who are 0-2, kind of surprisingly. The hot new kids on the block with Dave Smart at the helm and Oz Genti behind the bench. And it hasn't quite worked out.
Yeah, you know what? Those guys are really high-level IQ basketball players. Mm-hmm. Eventually it will click. I think for them, a lot of those guys are used to playing really system basketball. This is a game, as you can see, it's really scrappy, not as much structure. So I think once those guys adjust, they'll be fine. They'll definitely do well.
Lids on the buckets here for Saskatchewan right now, as Osiande has one pop out from point-blank range. And now a chance for Fraser Valley to expand upon this 3-point lead. Marcus Capers with it. Off to Newbie. Forte. He'll drive. Kicked out. Newbie. Can't get the three to go, but Forte offensive glass puts it back. Cam Forte.
And that's the kick out we wanted from Forte a lot earlier, in the first half. Get that, get a good shot. You're in a position to rebound. Still successful. He's a really good player, man. He's a really good player.
He has been excellent so far. 6:14 to go here in the quarter. 2:14 until the Elam ending kicks in. 69-64 is the score in favor of Fraser Valley, who are the only team that have scored so far in this quarter. Fraser Valley, nothing on the board. A 7-0 run to start the quarter here for Fraser Valley. How does Saskatchewan kind of get back to what they were doing? Do they need to sub somebody different in? What's the deal here for Saskatchewan?
I think when things were working for them, they were really getting the ball moving. They were setting good screens. They got Bracey Davis off some flare screens and allowed him to attack to his strong hand. I think he can go back to that. And then, they're going to collapse on him. They know what he's capable of doing now. Once you collapse, get guys, kick it out, get guys some shots, or attack off the basket, because now you've created an advantage for yourself.
Well, we will see here as we, again, are just 2 minutes and 14 seconds away from Elam ending time, which will explain all the rules once we get to that for sure. But there's plenty of stuff to figure out here. I mean, every point is essential when it comes to the Elam ending. It's a 9-point difference between the leading team's score. You want to be that leading team. Still time here for the Bandits to sort of bring this back. Sorry, for the Rattlers to bring this back. But running out of time here as the Elam ending comes closer and closer by the second. Of course, the first stoppage underneath the 4-minute mark will bring in the Elam ending. We'll explain more about that if you're unclear once we get to it. And I will say, yesterday we had a close game between Edmonton and Ottawa. When that kicked in, it was amazing, very tense. Every possession felt like it had real stakes. This one also feels the same way as Kemi Osei walks up for a high-stakes possession for the Rattlers. It's Bracey Davis, Joseph, Osiande, Rashawn Brown, and Osei out there right now for Saskatchewan. Bracey Davis drives, puts it up off glass, and he's going to go to the line to shoot two.
I did call it. I have to say, I might be a coach. I did call that getting Bracey going to his right, his strong hand.
You might have a future. You might be able to get away from me on the broadcast table.
I might be able to get away from you. I might be able to get away from you. You're okay for now, but I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this with you.
Hey, you know what? I understand. I hear my voice a lot. Here's Bracey Davis going to the line to shoot two. Now under 2 minutes till the Elam ending kicks in. On the floor for Fraser Valley is Newbie, Clausen, Forte, Tavarion Nix, and Marcus Capers. Bit of a bigger look here. Sort of their three biggest guys in their rotation, all lining up front. Webster Chan back in for the Rattlers as they look for some offensive punch. Jelaine Price will also check in. And Chris Joseph will take a seat. Still good to see Chris Joseph get back on the floor after he left a little bit earlier on after getting dinged in the leg. Probably just a Charlie horse or something like that. Not that I'm a doctor or anything like that. Here is Capers. Clausen with it. Osei in his chest. And a whistle.
You know what? Clausen is going to be my MVP. He's really, it might not show up in the stats category, but just his the momentum shift when he was, got in the second half of the game really turned things around for Fraser Valley.
8 points, 4 boards, and 4 assists for Merrick Clausen. Cam Forte at 27.
Little screen-to-screener.
Clausen can't get that to go. Should note the all-time record for points in a game held by Xavier Raton-Mays, 37 points. Cam Forte might break that. Steps out of bounds, says Negus Webster Chan in the corner. And it remains a 3-point game. Minute 38 to go until
Do you have enough time for it?
I mean, you got to get 9 points in the Elam end. You even get a bucket before then. And he scores all the points in the Elam ending, then sure. But he's also got plenty of games after this if he needs to shoot for that record.
Good job by Saskatchewan reading the offense there. They knew it was going right to Cam.
Oh, that's a big three. Negus Webster Chan tying it up.
Instant offense. Instant offense.
I was honestly surprised he was on the bench for as long as he was. But Jacobson puts him back in. Nix down to the corner.
Make sure you get it right.
Hey, I've been getting it right the whole game, Javon. I'm not who they're tweeting at. Here is Clausen for 3. That's no good. And now a chance to take the lead here for Saskatchewan. Now within a minute of Elam time. Jelaine Price. Up top, Bracy Davis. Osei for 3. No good. Grabbed by Capers.
That's good basketball. Drive, and kick.
Clausen with it. Into the corner. Nix on the board. Big 3 to Varian Nix.
He just gets the ball to the right places, man. Just where the ball needs to be. And not only does he just make the right pass, he gets it there on cue so shooters can shoot right in their pocket.
Webster Chan puts up the 3. He is fouled. Oh, they're going to say he kicked out. And he is going to be called for the foul. So 72-69. That's the 5th foul on the Rattlers. Here's Clausen
calling for the ball as he walked down the sideline. So let's see what they draw up here.
Forte will back down. Turn around. Puts it up. That's good. Cam Forte up to 29 points in the game. Topped his 28 from the first game.
He called it.
And now next stoppage is going to institute the Elam ending. And there's a big play by Forte. Chance to extend this lead even further for the Bandits. DeVivier. Forte up top.
It's going to be a heat check.
Sizing him up.
It's a heat check. It's a heat.
Kicks it out. Clausen. Pump fake.
Pass.
Steps in. That's a big bucket. Merrick Clausen.
This guy is solid, man. We spoke about fundamental basketball earlier. He's really solid. Shot fake, get his defender up in the air. One dribble into a shot, elevate.
Now a 7-point lead for Fraser Valley. Next stoppage will bring with it the Elam ending. That's a big bucket by Kevin Bracy Davis. Huge 3, now just a 4-point lead.
So we're going to see some coaching here.
You can feel the intensity coming from both benches right now. DeVivier goes up. He is fouled. And that will be the last timed play of the game as he's going to go to the line to shoot 2. And once those free throws are taken, the Elam ending will start. So DeVivier to the line, has a chance to extend the lead to at least 6 here. And then we'll add 9 points at the end of these free throws to Fraser Valley's score to get the target score for the Elam ending. First is good. He goes 2 for 2, making it 78-72 for the Bandits, and bringing up Elam ending time and a target score of 87 for the Fraser Valley Bandits and Saskatchewan Rattlers to play to here. Again, both teams looking to hold on to undefeated records. I say that sort of in jest, they're 1-0, but still.
See, this is a situation where playing out regulation may be to Saskatchewan's benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're not, but
the thing, too, as well with the Elam ending is you're not up against the clock, right? The clock is not an obstacle. It's just that target score. And if you can string together some stops here, you know, they're 2 made threes, the Rattlers are, from tying this thing up. Just a refresher on the Elam ending rules. Now that we're under 4 minutes, the clock has been stopped. There is no more, we're not looking at the clock anymore. We're just going until they get to the target score of 87.
But now you have to string together more stops.
Absolutely.
As opposed to, you know, we have 3 minutes, 3 stops, 2 threes, you're right back in this thing. So different rules, but I'm old school, right? So
yeah,
I'm old school. So
you see me extremely pro Elam ending. I'll get you converted by the end of the series. Don't you worry. But again, just a reminder: the clock is off. Target score is now 87 to play to, with it 78-72 for the Fraser Valley Bandits. First team to reach that score wins. This is the thing that is old school. You're on the playground, you're playing at 21, you're playing to 11, whatever it is. It's the first team to get to that score is going to win.
Yep.
And that creates a lot of intensity, and of course, every game is going to end on a bucket. And the nice thing as well is that in a close game like this, you know, you might get a very exciting finish, but you also might get fouls going back and forth to extend the game and free throws deciding things. Free throws aren't really basketball. They're just the thing that happens when people break the rules of basketball. This is just pure distilled basketball playing to that target score. I love it. Again, we'll get you converted.
One thing's for sure, you're gonna get a game winner.
Yep.
And moving forward, when these guys are playing in their respective cities, you're gonna get hometown heroes out of these game-winning shots.
Absolutely.
So I'm for it.
Here are the Rattlers down 6 as the Elam ending has begun. Also, FIBA rules in place, so a couple different things at play. Jelaine Price can't get it to go. The stop there for the Bandits. An off-ball foul on an inbound before it's inbounded will result in 2 shots in the ball, so keep that in mind as well. Bracy Davis is guarding DeVivier. DeVivier into traffic, but that is deflected away from the hands of Forte. Osei in, and now just a 4-point deficit for Saskatchewan. They are just 13 points away from that Elam ending. You can see the target score up there on the left of your screen.
Merrick with a call play. Let's see what they draw up here. Ball screen. Rashawn's done a really good job of pressuring the ball off that ball screen.
Clausen, pull up for 3. That's a big bucket. 81-74, just 6 points away now for the Fraser Valley Bandits on the 3 by Merrick Clausen.
I like how he keeps his composure. He doesn't, he doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low, he just plays.
Up to 13 points on the night for Clausen. Here's Rashawn Brown. Pull up 3, put Forte on skates and cans the triple. He's a rookie.
Yeah, I need to check his passport. Somebody has to check his passport.
Clausen has the ball. Osei in his grill, and what a defensive play by Osei, but it bounces to Capers. 9 on the shot clock. Capers drives. Forte underneath, tries to put it up. He's fouled. He's going to go to the line to shoot a couple. Forte so far in the game, as he misses that free throw, now down to 3 of 8 from the line. So maybe not the worst of outcomes here to send him to the line. And he hits the second, 82-77. 5 points away for Fraser Valley. 10 points away are the Saskatchewan Rattlers.
Oh, my goodness.
Rashawn Brown.
Right to left.
Putting him on skates 2 straight times down the floor. Can he do it a 3rd time? Brown into traffic, kicks out, and a foul is going to be called. That one is on Merrick Clausen as he tried to stick with the very difficult to guard Rashawn Brown.
You know what's actually impressive is the fact that, and I'm not taking nothing away from Rashawn Brown, but he's getting a lot of calls, veteran calls.
There's an art to getting the right calls as well.
But I thought that starts when you're, second, third year pro. Not your first year out.
Again, he's playing like he's 29. We got to check the passport, as you said. Here's Bracy Davis in the corner for 3. That's no good. Oh, DeVivier slips. Capers on the run, and he's going to jam it down. Marcus Capers gets them within a 3 ball of the target score. 84-77. Bracy Davis with it. See if panic sets in here or if they continue to run their stuff. Rashawn Brown. Bracy Davis for 3. No good. On the glass. And it comes to Capers. Forte. Capers. Corner. And a foul called. Offensive foul on Forte. That'll be the 4th on Forte as well, so keep an eye on that, because we have a timeout called. Out of these timeouts, Javon, coaches can opt to take the ball in the backcourt with a full 24 shot clock, or they can take it in the front court with a 14. So that's an interesting element here. 84-77.
And to my understanding, they don't have to report that to the.
No, it's a little sneak attack.
Yeah, little attack there.
So right now, 84-77, a 3-ball away from the win are the Fraser Valley Bandits. If you're the Rattlers, how do you play this? You know, it's obviously you need stops. You have to get a stop. Do you concede a 2 if you get a couple buckets here? And, you know, are you like all out to stop threes right now? How do you sort of approach this?
Keep it simple. I think, you know, sometimes we get away from our game plan, and that doesn't help us much at all. I think right now you have to keep it simple, get a quick bucket, get a quick stop, and just play through. Play through. If we start, you know, getting ahead of ourselves, jacking up threes, it's not to our benefit at all.
It'll be Manigat, Capers, Duvivier, Newbie, and Forte on the floor here for the Bandits as Merrick Clausen takes a breather. It's Bracy Davis, Ose, Jelaine Price, and Rashawn Brown on the floor for Saskatchewan.
There's no time. We keep it simple, run through something, get a good shot.
They did take it in the front court, so it's just a 14-second shot clock. Brown, Price, he'll drive. 3 on the clock, got to get a shot up. And they won't, and they're not going to call the violation. They are going to call the shot clock violation, taking away the easy transition bucket there for the Bandits. Kyle Julius, none too pleased.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, that was pretty borderline. Denzel Taylor coming into the game here for Saskatchewan. I wonder how long they'll keep Merrick Clausen on the bench here for Fraser Valley. He's played a lot in the second half, so understandable that he's getting a bit of a breather here.
You know, this is a deep team. You have, you know, right now in crunch time, some of your dogs that are on your bench. Kyle Johnson is that's been a big part of this team, Junior Kadugan. So if you're able to close out a game with some of your better players, you know, sitting on your bench.
Devivier's call for an offensive foul here. And you wonder if there's just like, when you're the leading team here and you know you're close, I wonder if there's some stress there as well, right? Like you want to make sure you just get it over with. You don't want to make it more interesting than it has to be. Kyle Julius, a frazzled man at the moment. And some good pressure in the backcourt there. A turnover. It's going to go right back to the Bandits.
Have we seen,
I guess.
Kyle's he might be close to a technical. Have we seen one tonight?
We haven't seen one, no. I'm kind of surprised we haven't yet.
I think Kyle's the closest to it.
Certainly. Which you don't want to give away a technical at this juncture of the game.
No.
Into the corner, Capers for the win. And he's fouled, so he's going to have a chance to go to the line, knock down all 3 shots, and wrap this thing up here for the Fraser Valley Bandits. Capers is 1 of 2 from the line today. Bit of a record-breaking performance from Cam Forte. We were talking about him maybe breaking the scoring record at some point in this tournament, but he has tied the single-game steals record held by Bruce Massey last year playing for the Rattlers of 6. So Cam Forte to go along with his 30 points and 10 rebounds, filling up that stat sheet. 4 steals away from a very fun triple-double. Will he get it? He will not, because Marcus Capers has hit all 3 free throws and brought this game to an end. The Fraser Valley Bandits 87, the Saskatchewan Rattlers 77. The Bandits. There's a bit of a conversation right now going on, but yeah, that's a big win for the Bandits. They move to 2-0.
Big win.
The lone undefeated team left in the CEBL Summer Series pool. The Rattlers fall to 1-1, even with the Edmonton Stingers, along as Junior Kadugan walks by, growls a little bit. These guys are happy they picked up that win, Javon.
For sure. Like you said, that 2-0 going into the third game. This really sets you apart. Especially whether it be from a seeding standpoint or, just getting you into that second round.
We just heard picked up there another Junior Cadogan growl coming through somewhere. We're going to go down sideline. Amy Audibert has Cam Forte, who we just said, tied the all-time CBL record with 6 steals to go along with 30 points and 10 boards. Amy, take it over.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Sean, you just read the stats. Yeah, I know you're pumped because you also tied the record for steals tonight for the league in steals. So there's a lot going on with you. Listen, monster game, Cam. What was the single biggest motivator for you tonight to play this?
That I'm the best player in the league. That I'm the best player in the league.
Yeah.
Period.
All right. Okay. Well, listen. There's one thing I know about Fraser Valley. You guys are hype. You're not scared to get loud, but you still got a lot of basketball to play. And so how do you keep that balance with staying up but not letting that emotion get the best of you guys?
I mean, as you've seen in the first half, our back was to the wall and we fought. Everybody on our team, like I said in the last interview, is a dog. We're going to fight. We're going to play hard. We're conditioned, well coached, good players. It equals winning.
You hold Saskatchewan to 13 points in the final frame between the fourth quarter and Elam. Talk about your defensive effort. It was big tonight.
Coach Kyle does a fantastic job. He loves basketball more than any person I know. So when it comes to defense and winning games, he's going to be very detail-oriented. So, you know what I'm saying, just playing hard, pressuring the ball, just making sure we're not gambling, and we got the win.
All right. You earned your ice, so go get it. We'll go back to you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks to Cam Forte, the self-proclaimed best player in the league. And it's hard to argue, honestly, right now, Javon. 30 points and 10 boards to go along with 6 steals in this game to follow up his 28 points in the first game of the CEBL Summer Series. Just fantastic work from Cameron Forte, one of the imports here for Kyle Julius. And look, I'm going to eat my words. I was not sold on this Fraser Valley team coming into this tournament. Maybe just sort of the bad taste in my mouth from last year. I was clearly wrong because this is a very good team and a very fired up team. And, in this short sort of time, the chemistry they seem to have really seems to be working for them.
Right, and I had a chance to see them in training camp, and that was the first thing that stuck out to me. These guys enjoyed playing with each other, enjoyed competing against each other, and that translated out onto the court tonight. And even in some of their other games, and they're a very inclusive team. We see them with 26 bench points tonight, and I'm going to throw out the keys of the game because this team is just about toughness. This team's about toughness. This team's about grit, and they take the personality of their coach, and I think that's what translates over to the court and allows them to have a lot of success.
Absolutely. The Fraser Valley Bandits will be back in action again on Thursday. Javon and I will be on the call for that as they take on the Ottawa Blackjacks, looking to move to 3-0 and looking to send Ottawa to an 0-3 start here at the CEBL Summer Series. Our next broadcast will be tomorrow. You can tune in as the Edmonton Stingers take on the Hamilton Honey Badgers in a game I've been looking forward to ever since the schedule came out. That one goes down at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, CBL Twitch, all over the place. You'll be able to tune in and watch that game tomorrow. Javon, this was a blast, man.
Definitely.
This was a lot of fun. Hope you're not sick of me doing 2 games. You only get 1 game of me tomorrow, so it'll be a little easier for you to put up with.
By the end of this, you're my blood brother. So
that's good to know. We're going to wrap up there. Thank you so much for tuning in on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca. We will talk to you again tomorrow for Hamilton and Edmonton. Have a good night.
Peace.